Welcome to Sky's the Limit. I'm your host, Skylar Music. Today, I'm excited to introduce Noel B. Doherty. Noel is a sophomore communication major at Villanova University. He is a well-known content creator on Instagram and TikTok, with more than 690,000 followers across 3 TikTok accounts. As the host of College Cribs, Noel tours college dorms, apartments, and houses while interviewing student residents. He also hosts Man on the Street interviews on Noel Be Askin' and shares more about his life on his personal account. Over the past few years, Noel has worked with many influential companies and people, including DoorDash, the Made in America Music Festival, Tinder, and Calvin Harris. Since arriving at Villanova 2 years ago, Noel has brought laughter and light to not only our campus, but also to campuses and cities across the East Coast and in the Midwest, like Boston College and Ohio State. This summer, he will be creating content full-time in Manhattan. Noel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Skylar. That was a delightful intro. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm really honored to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So when did you start creating content?
Okay, so in a way, I've always been creating content. I actually made my first YouTube channel when I was 11, which I don't even know if you're allowed to make a YouTube channel when you're 11. But I did make some videos, and since then I've had 5 YouTube channels, probably 8 Instagram accounts. Kind of always just was doing stuff. I made art content when I was like really young. I had a meme page for a little bit cringy, but we don't have to talk about it. I did vlogs in high school, and then TikTok. When TikTok came out, when I was also in high school, like sophomore, like junior, senior year of high school, and then more TikTok stuff in college.
That's so fun. So what or who inspired you to start?
I guess when I was really young, YouTubers, I think. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a YouTuber when I was in college. I think I watched like some David Dobrik and some artists, maybe some vloggers or whatever. I don't really remember, but I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber in college. And I think it's in a way I'm living my dream, but also I think it's even cooler because I think TikTok is cooler than YouTube at this point.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And were you successful from the start of TikTok?
Start of TikTok? No, definitely not. I guess not being successful on TikTok at first didn't feel like failure because
That's awesome.
It wasn't, it was hardly even like that I was creating for people to see it. It was just like, at first I did fun dancing videos, and I was just really having a lot of fun, and met some online friends through dancing. And then I sort of gradually moved on towards like comedy videos and like sketches and silly things like that. And then people seem to enjoy it, and I still do it for me, but also I get a lot of joy from bringing joy to others, I guess.
Yeah.
But not taking off it from any of my previous projects isn't like a sad thing, because I still learn from it, I still had fun doing it, I enjoy creating.
Yeah. That's a really great way to look at it. It's important. When was the first, I guess, TikTok that did well and you were like, wow, people are noticing?
So this is a little bit embarrassing. In high school, there was a trend where you would have a laptop open, and it would be like a movie or a TV show that you knew really well, and to prove how well you knew it, you would say it as it was happening, like quotes, like, and you're just looking at the camera, like with the laptop playing. And so the first like minute of the B movie, I memorized and said as it was going on my laptop. And that got like 2 million views. And then I later on sort of did more comedy type, more sketch type, more often. And then I guess the first one that like really blew up in a promising way was my first video on my Noel Be Askin' page, where I interviewed kids. It was October of last year, and I interviewed someone who now I'm friends with. Her name is Rosa, but she was a stranger at the time. I said, "What are you being for Halloween?" she's like Candace from Phineas and Ferb, and she and I are both gingers. And I start making fun of her. I'm like, oh, typical ginger being Candace for Halloween. Get original. And she's like, well, what are you being? What are you being? And I was gonna be Ron from Harry Potter.
That's awesome.
And that got 13 million views right out of the gate. Like 3 million likes. So that kind of kickstarted Noel Be Asking, and that was very promising. It kind of kept some big momentum for a while there.
Did it feel different then? Or were you still feeling the same about yourself, about what you were going to do?
I guess it was it was new, it was different, but I feel like it was in the cards all along. I feel like in a way, I was ready for people to see what I was making. It wasn't that weird. It was exciting. I felt accomplished. I felt good about what I was creating. Did it feel different? No, I still just put things out that I find funny, and in hopes that, you know, people who have my same sense of humor will also enjoy it. Over the past 2 years, my outlook has definitely shifted gradually about like where this is all going and like what I'm going to do with my future. I changed my major from computer science to communications.
I didn't know that was your first major. Wow.
Yeah, I came to Villanova as a comp sci major, and they say it's hard because it is hard. And I left. I said, too hard, I'm going away.
Good for you, good for you.
Yeah, and now my classes are phenomenal. It's just like, I want to pay attention in class, and I'm like more interested because I feel like I'm going to use what I'm learning about, like public speaking. That's going to make me better at doing stand-up comedy and like all these studying mass media and communication and all that jazz. I love it.
Yeah, you'll be more than prepared.
Hopefully.
So speaking of that, what's your creative process? Like pre-production, production, post-production?
Okay, so I would say they're different for all three of my accounts.
Okay.
For my personal account, Noel B. Doherty, we do a lot of sketch comedy. So this is like scripted, written out. We'll put a bunch of jokes on a Google Doc, and then we'll cut them out, and then I'll pick my favorites. I'll order them specifically. They're memorized in order. A lot of my sketches are done in one take. So we'll do like 5 or 10 takes, but it's one clean video that I like to have, so that it's kind of more impressive that way. And then I like to have it loop at the end. For my like Vogue 73 question interviews, those are heavily scripted, memorized, almost theatrical. Like I like to have props. I'll like have a hat or like a cup of tea or something, and I'm walking around. Noel Be Asking can be done at the drop of a hat. I can grab one of my buddies that films for me and be like, it's good weather. People are out there. Let's go. Let's get it. And camera, microphone, action. I run out, and usually I have a list of questions on my phone, or I have like 3 or 4 just like in my head that I want to ask everyone. But also like if an interview is going well, or if I have time, I'll just improv the rest of the interview, see what people have to say. Sometimes you can kind of get that sense that's like, okay, this person has a story to tell, and I'm just gonna give them the microphone, and I'm gonna hear what they've got to say. That's pretty much on the fly. Yeah. Sometimes I'll plan out an interview if I want a particular person on Noel Be Asking. And then College Cribs is also improvised. Wow. Like day of, like when I'm doing the tours, that's all on the fly, but we plan out who we're gonna tour. So like people will reach out, they'll DM us, or if someone sees me in public and they're like, can I do College Cribs? I'm like, yeah, like write down your Instagram, and then I'll reach out and I'll book tours for like noon, 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. And then we'll just like run around campus, or like we'll go to Temple, or we'll go somewhere else.
Wow.
And just bang out the tours. And yeah, that's very on the move, a lot of traveling for college cribs. But on the day of, I'm really just making it up.
Like you just said, you've been to a bunch of different campuses. What's that experience been like?
It's been really good. It's been really, really awesome. I love looking at different college campuses, and I feel really good about my choice of coming to Villanova. And I also just love looking at different cultures. One of my favorite things about what I do, and something that's so central to why I love it, is that I get to witness new perspectives on life, and I get to hear different points of view on college, or what's your pet peeves, or what's your celebrity, what's your story, what is it? I love hearing people's stories, and so this is a great opportunity for me to check out different cultures, check out different walks of life. I mean, within college, or within, sometimes I don't even do interviews on college campuses. Sometimes I go wherever. Yeah. And I love seeing different colleges, their living spaces.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell so much about someone based on what's on their walls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really cool stuff. And I love also seeing trends and styles from my generation and their decoration habits, I guess. I like our style.
Yes.
I think we're cool. Go Gen Z.
And you said that you're really happy that you chose Villanova. Why did you choose Villanova?
Really, really happy about it. I was basically raised on all things Nova. My mom actually works at Villanova.
Oh, wow.
And so does my godfather. And so I've been to some of the games, the basketball games, since I was a kid. And my older sister goes here. And it's pretty close to my home. I love that it's close to Philly, but not quite in Philly. I like the size, and I love the community. My favorite part is the community. I feel like all of the TikTok stuff working out, I owe that to the Villanova community so much, because I was putting out similar-ish content in high school and working gradually up to 50K followers on TikTok. And then my first video coming here on my main account, that was 3 million views, and suddenly campus was roaring about it, and it was just really, I felt very uplifted by the Villanova community. I felt like I had so much support, and I still do. Every day people are very good to me here, and I really appreciate the Villanovans. These up.
Always. I love hearing that. That's special. What have you learned most about yourself? Because you said that you learned so much about other people, but what have you learned most about yourself since starting, especially at Villanova?
I guess I've learned more about my humor. I learned kind of recently that I really love doing characters.
Oh, wow.
And I want to do more character work. There's a new character. He's a cowboy on College Cribs.
Yeah.
And he's so goofy, Southern accent. I have so much fun, and it feels really fresh. It feels like a reinvention. And I've been coming up with more characters recently, and they all have a piece of me, and they all have a piece of just what is this? So goofy. But it's really fun to branch out into that genre of comedy and be in a person that you made up's skin, casting myself as something fun is a new thing. And I've learned how to take care of myself. I think I had to learn how to. And I've learned how to set goals really well.
Yes.
Yeah, Grayson has taught me a lot about that.
Yes.
Grayson was your guest last time. Love her.
You were telling me about a vision board, and Grayson was telling me about the same thing. How does that all work, and when did you start doing that?
I was feeling like crap on a Sunday at noon. And I was like, my life's a mess. I don't know what I'm doing today. No plans. I just feel like a wreck. I'm in the dining hall eating food, and I'm exhausted. And then I'm going to make a vision board right now. And that's what we're going to do. One goal, make a vision board. And I made a Google Slides. And one page is all around goals, I guess. One is for wellness, work out, get good sleep, drink some water, like make people laugh, post on your Instagram story. And then one of the pages is like social media related goals. I set the goal of getting 5K on my personal Instagram, which I hit a couple weeks into it, which was really exciting. And now we're at 6. I set like a really wide variety of goals, and also a lot of them. Like one whole page on my Google Slides is virtually unattainable goals. But it's like over the course of my entire life, I want to hit a couple of them at least. But then also some of them were like, make tea for yourself.
Yeah.
So easy. Or like, make this specific person laugh. I made my friend Kate laugh as a part of my vision board. Or like, watch a TV show. Like really easy, medium, and large goals. And I've added to it a couple times. I have one page that's just like words and quotes and comments that really mean a lot to me and things to keep in mind. I love my vision board. I only started it at the beginning of March.
Wow.
And I feel like it's changed my life. I've always been a goal-oriented person, but it's really helpful to like have one place for the goals. And it's like, okay, if I'm lost or if I have 3 hours of extra time in one of my days, I'm going to look at the vision board, and am I going to take a step towards one of these goals?
Yeah. You hold yourself accountable, and you're more likely to go for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And some of them aren't that hard at all, and it'll still take me weeks to get around to it.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, finally, check. I actually just interviewed Maddie Seacrest, our basketball player, and I had that on my vision board as well. And so I checked it off.
How was that?
It was great. She's really cool.
Yeah.
She's a cool person. We did a college cribs tour and an interview, and both were hilarious. And her apartment was like full of stuff because she's lived there the past 3 years. They don't move the basketball players around a lot. I think Colin and Jermaine were the same, like 3 or 4 years in the same apartment.
I remember that interview. Yeah, that was fun too. I'm excited to see Maddie's.
It just came out like yesterday or something. And sneak peek or a little behind the scenes, there's going to be a second one as well.
Yay.
Yeah, with her other roommate who's also named Maddie.
What will you be doing as a full-time content creator in Manhattan this summer?
This is a big deal for me. This is really exciting. Last summer I didn't work a normal job. I just did TikTok, but I stayed at home. I like crunched the numbers and I was like, okay, I might make the same amount if I do a normal job. But this time we're gonna live in Manhattan. I'm gonna try to do a lot of collaboration with other people. I have some creator friends there. And then the company that owns College Cribs is based in New York. So I'll be closer with those work friends, colleagues, and I can actually do meetings with them in person instead of over Zoom. I plan to continue Noel Be Askin' somehow. I don't know where specifically I'll film it, but there's lots of people in New York. So
it's very exciting.
Man on the Street content, I feel like it's like famously done in New York in the past. Like you have What's Poppin' with Davis, you have Billy Eichner. I don't know if the Andy Milonakis show was filmed in New York or not. Maybe not. Maybe though. But there's plenty of people. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they all have apartments. So we can do College Cribs there as well.
Who is your biggest support system and how have they helped you in your journey?
I would say my mom. My support system, everyone. So lots of family, friends, students at Villanova. Oh my gosh, like teachers and faculty at Villanova, alumni, students at other people are incredible. Everyone who comments on my videos, I read them. It means so much to me. Yeah. It's incredible. But I have to give credit to the number one, my mom. She has I think she's unknowingly inspired me so much. She is the one that introduced me to Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. and I read their autobiographies, and I watched Parks and Rec, and I watched 30 Rock, which is a show that Tina Fey does. And I'm obsessed with SNL, and like now I'm reading all these books about comedy and like people's autobiographies, and it's just like really got the ball rolling. I think she got me for my 18th birthday, Tina Fey's autobiography. She was like, "This is funny. You're gonna like this," and I loved it. I read it twice, in fact.
What do you enjoy most about content creation besides learning about other people and yourself?
I think when you break it up into parts, filming, editing, posting, I enjoy filming the most. I love a good film day. Running out around the town, annoying people, microphone, camera. I just get to be my silliest and my goofiest and just crack people up. That brings me so much joy. But then also, there's a secret other part after the posting, which is like the effect that the content can have on people. I've had some people come up to me and tell me that like a specific video of mine, like their friend group loved it so much and it like became an inside joke, and that literally means the world to me. Yes. That's so cool that people could bond over something that I created. Yeah. That's so cool to me. That's incredible. I love that concept so much. I just want to make people laugh, want to make people's day better. I used to think that like the best impact that I could have on humanity, this is so deep, sorry, but the best impact I could have on humanity was like making code or like software that would like improve people's lives, make people's lives easier. But now I think my best improvement to humanity could just be making people happy, making people laugh, as like on a wide basis as much as possible. And so people in real life coming out to me especially means so much to me. Because I'm like, whoa, real life person did a haha at the video that I made? That's awesome. Yeah, it makes me really fulfilled. It makes me really proud. Yeah.
What is your favorite memory while recording or before or after?
I always love traveling. I love a good trip. Yeah. I can't pick one, but I went to Boston, Pittsburgh, I went to Penn State, I went to LA, I did a San Francisco trip, and we filmed at all of them, and it was just a really cool feeling to go somewhere new and do what I love, and then for it to work out, and then for people to be like, oh my God, he's in DC, or like, he's at Pitt. Like, that's really special that people would care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've gotten really close with the people that I work with, like my friends who do the camera work and the editors and all that.
How did you meet them?
My two first camera guys, they were just not camera guys at all. They became professional cameramen by definition before they became good cameramen. And I've said this to them before. I'm not insulting them. Neither of them had like held a camera before. Wow. And I was like, would you like to get paid to do this with me? And they were like, sure. And my one friend, Jack, actually didn't know how to focus a camera. Like, we would get a few shots that were like really, really early on, like last March, we would get some footage that looked incredibly blurry. And we were like, what's happening? This is so weird. Like, maybe it's uploading weird. And then like a couple weeks later, we realized you just would never focus the camera.
So they did it for you because you were their friend.
Yeah.
That's the sweetest.
We were friends.
And awesome. They were willing to learn for you.
Yeah, and they were incredible, and they've taken great strides. Now I would definitely consider them good cameramen, for sure.
Improvement.
And also we got a new videographer. Jack's big in his frat. Jack recommended us. His name is Jeffrey, and he's awesome. He's very talented. He has much more experience with cameras and such. Yeah, and they're all great.
Sounds like a great team. Yeah,
it's a good team.
And finally, what advice would you give young adults who want to create online content for a living?
Pick your platform, learn how it works, and then do it until you win, I guess.
Love that.
And don't be afraid to put a lot into one thing, and then also don't be afraid to diversify. You just have to learn the system, I'd say. Yeah. I got on TikTok before anyone I knew was on TikTok. And I made videos for a little while, 2 years actually, 2 years. And then I figured out how it worked. And now I just do that. I just post silly things on the internet. But in those 2 years while I was learning how TikTok worked, I made content for me before I made it for other people. I was posting it online, and I would have loved to see some numbers, but I enjoyed it every time. I enjoyed filming, editing, uploading every single one of them, and put out a product that you would watch.
And you'll never work a day in your life if you keep doing this because you love it.
It's a true story. It's a true story. And you'll have things in common with people. If you make something that you would consume, there's other people like you. There's so many people.
That's great. Thank you. And thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and I've loved getting to know you better.
Thank you so much for having me. This was absolutely a blast. Thank you, Skylar.
Thank you. This has been Sky's the Limit. I'm Skylar Music. Have a good day.